Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about what PwC is doing with their clients in the area of corporate social responsibility and what your role is in that?
Okay, my name is Jiří Moser, and I'm currently the advisory leader for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and from 1st of April I'm actually becoming the managing partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers Czech Republic. And my other role, which is relevant to the topic, is I'm actually responsible for part of our corporate social responsibility program within PricewaterhouseCoopers Czech Republic, which focuses on clients and markets. And in terms of corporate social responsibility within PricewaterhouseCoopers, it is actually a global initiative, so it's sort of like coordinated somehow globally. But we have our own program in the Czech Republic, and it covers sort of like several aspects, effectively all aspects of our operations. I would say the main focus is on actually our people, and the other one is sort of like how we present ourselves in the marketplace.
Right. And you said that so there's two aspects of it, that you're responsible not only for a corporate social responsibility program aimed at your clients, meaning working with your clients on their corporate social responsibility program, but also on the PwC corporate social responsibility program,
yes,
which you do in-house.
Yes.
Are they linked in any way?
Well, they are linked in a sense that corporate social responsibility is, I would say, a new area.
Yeah.
So obviously we want to demonstrate to our clients, that if we are advising them, and that actually this is something what we do internally as well. And so in fact, we started internally with all these programs, and then we started to offer this as a service as well.
So let me talk a little bit about the environment for corporate social responsibility. People tend to be fairly skeptical here of the role that business plays in society. Do you think that corporate social responsibility is accepted by the population as something that companies should do or must do, or do most of the population believe that this is something that companies do as public relations?
Yeah. Well, I would say there's like several aspects of this, because I think one thing is sort of the definition of corporate social responsibility. Right. And in fact, I'm not sure whether everybody really understands, what he or she is talking about. Because I would say in minds of a lot of people, corporate social responsibility is some sort of charity type of thing. Right. So, and this is, or can be seen as just simple PR. I think there are several issues to your question, and one of them is really how people understand corporate social responsibility. Because I think in minds of a lot of people, corporate social responsibility is only some sort of like donations to charity, things like that. In fact, I think the right philosophy is to really understand, how companies are operating in a given environment, and then effectively each company is somehow interacting, with the environment, economy, society, communities, and things like that. And I think the basic first step is really to understand, what this interaction is, and understand what the company is doing. And I would say that charity, even if it is the most visible part of it, is probably the last thing, in this aspect. Now, the second part of your question is, whether this is recognized in the market. I think it's probably mixed, because obviously we have a lot of international companies, who've been doing this for a number of years. And obviously there are subsidiaries of international companies here in the Czech Republic, then obviously they are doing it. The other aspect is, I have to say that I'm actually surprised, that especially in regions outside Prague, you can see a lot of medium-sized Czech companies who really recognize, that they are part of the local community and they want to do something and they do it naturally. So I would say probably it's a mix of things, for some companies it's just a simple PR, for some companies I think it's a real stuff, and they are really doing it.
So how are you doing it inside your own company? Who is developing the CSR program, and how do you communicate these sort of values to all of your staff members? Because for any effective CSR program, it has to be something that is sort of embodied by each person in the organization and supported by them?
I would say that actually PricewaterhouseCoopers is a specific company in a sense, because actually we are running, I would say, people business. And if I look at our sort of like employees, I would say maybe like 60–70% of them are below 30. And in fact, I think it's a generation stuff a little bit. They know this from universities. They think about environment. They think about sort of like corporate social responsibility. So in fact, it's something which is very natural for them. And to a certain extent, they are driving a lot of thinking, and they sort of like come up with a lot of ideas, So this is part of it. So I feel it's.
And how do you structure that? So you have lots of young people who have lots of good ideas. How do you make sure?
No, this is what is specific about PricewaterhouseCoopers, and actually why I think we are keen on this. In terms of the program itself, we have a really formal organization. We have sort of like really sponsorship on the top level. So country managing partner is responsible for corporate social responsibility program, and then we have different sort of like work streams, like environment, like people, lifestyle, things like that. And we have sort of like sponsors on partner level for each of these, and then we have sort of working groups, and then this is then communicated, to the whole population or to all our staff. And I think the important part of it is that we issue sort of on a yearly basis our corporate social responsibility report, where we actually document and communicate what we do, what has been done, in the past. So people are very much aware of what's happening, and they can obviously come up with their own ideas.
How have corporate social responsibility programs, from your experience, been impacted by the crisis? Are companies focus more on them, focus less on them? Has it been impacted at all?
Well, I mean, like with any activity, and there with corporate social responsibility, there are definitely some costs sort of attached to it. So I think companies are looking at this sort of like carefully as any other cost. I can't say that I would see companies who would stop doing it completely. I think it's more like, there is maybe like less budget or lower budget available, which effectively means, the companies typically rethink what they do, or what they do, that they do it in a more cost-efficient manner. But generally, I wouldn't say that actually the crisis was such that actually there was a corporate social responsibility type of activities before, and suddenly there is nothing.
You said that PricewaterhouseCoopers is a specific company in terms of, I guess, the demographic makeup of the firm, and also what you do. Do you think that there are basic principles that sort of run through every company's corporate social responsibility program, or do you think that, as you said, that for each company it's specific to their workforce, their product, and there's not much overlap between, say, for instance, a social responsibility program in, I don't know, a food industry and one in a professional service sector?
Well, I mean, I think there are differences in a sense that if I take corporate social responsibility as something, what or the way how companies interacting, with environment generally, and that interaction is with employees, it's with the outside environment. Then obviously, because each company has slightly different sort of like production cycle, or they make different products, obviously the impact is slightly different. So from this point of view, I think yes, companies have slightly different focus, and it may mean slightly different things, for different companies. But there are definitely some basic principles, which is obviously we should be thinking about, our employees, about their work-life balance, and we should be thinking about the environment and so on and so on.